Hello, welcome to this week's Generation Iron podcast. Your host, me, Victor Martinez, along with Edwin Mejia and Vlad Yudin. Welcome, guys. And I don't know, Esan is out. He's busy. He's making money, and he's training a lot of people.
He's training for the Mr. Olympia.
No, I mean, he's getting fit. He's still on that, what is that? What diet is he on? Is the carnivore diet? Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. I gotta try it though. But he's looking great. And again, it's you gotta evolve. You gotta evolve, and that's what he's done. But next time you see him, you're not gonna recognize him.
Man,
absolutely, in a good way.
Well, I appreciate everybody hopping on. I mean, obviously we have a great week here. A lot of questions have come in, and Vic, you selected a few questions. Oh. We have one here today. And this question comes
Whoa. But before we start, question of the day sponsored by Transparent Labs.
Yes.
This segment also. And remember, guys, for your first purchase on Transparent Labs, you register, you're going to get a free starter kit, protein starter kit, recommended, grass-fed protein, no bullshit in there, straight quality.
The cleanest.
Yeah. Shout out to Transparent Labs for their support and obviously their high-end quality products, which we recommend. Obviously, Vic recommends everybody tries. So the question comes to us.
We have two questions of the day.
Yeah, two questions. The first question comes to us from H. Medina 629. Question for Vic. Do you think some bodybuilders are taking the conditioning too far? Should the IFBB intervene with some of these athletes that take it too far, especially since that young lady passed away at the Arnold? We know most won't confess to diuretic use. Her coach mentioned she was doing it without his knowledge.
This is in reference to a young lady that passed away at Arnold Classic.
Yeah, she was.
Yes, I remember.
She was 21 years old.
21, barely 21, yeah.
Yeah, it's sad to read, condolences to her friends, families, and everybody that knew her. It's just something you never want to see. Something, it always hits hard because, again, bodybuilding is tough, staying healthy is tough, but we don't have to go through the extremes, I'm not going to speculate what she used. People are speculating this, and I know it does happen, but the extreme is not in the actual, competition itself. It's the person that chooses to go through the extreme when they don't really have to. So you have to educate yourself on what you're going to use, how you're going to use it, how long you're going to use it, and how much you are going to use. And that being said, I don't recommend any of the diuretic use. One of them I know that we're throwing around, she was using DMP. That's something if you're a client of mine, a friend of mine, or someone I know that, competitively that you're going to compete, I would never, say, okay, this is okay to use. If anything, I try to scare you off it, not to use that, because there's always a better way, the harder way, obviously, cardio, diet. And again, there's stuff you can use that are not as dangerous, but people always try to get the shortcut. And in reality, the shortcut can end up, cutting you down early. And that happening. And I know they said she wasn't competing. She was there helping other athletes. But one thing I noticed when I've gone to shows where the spectators are doing cycles to show up at the Olympia or the Arnold just so they can have a look.
Walk the expo and just look.
Just to walk around the expo.
Yeah.
And I noticed that early on before I even competed at the Arnold.
Right.
And I would see guys, taking these monstrous cycles. And I thought, hey, what show are you doing? What's going on? No, I'm just going to go watch the Arnold. What do you mean to watch? Yeah, I can't walk around and all these guys are looking so big, and which I thought it was not too smart, kind of stupid, because at the end of the day, it's they don't care.
That's a psychological thing.
Yeah,
right?
They don't care, and the problem lies with the person themselves. Nobody's there to judge you unless you're stepping on that stage. That's it, and you're judged by professional judges. And obviously, people have the wrong mindset when they go on the shows. It's supposed to be health and fitness. It's supposed to be motivating. It shouldn't be something that's going to stress you out just to attend.
Part of the question he's asking, should the IFBB intervene with some of these athletes? And the question is, how can you possibly intervene?
It's next to impossible.
It's impossible.
It's next to impossible. I know, if you go back, 90s and, sporadically some shows.
They tested for diuretics,
They
right?
would test for diuretics because it got to the extreme that you will diet and train hard for 12, 14 weeks, 16 weeks, and you're still cutting yourself down,
Right.
risking it, using diuretic 2 weeks out, 1 week out. And it's kind of like, what is the point of all this hard training if you're going to really destroy everything by the misuse of diuretics?
So they tested for diuretics, but not for other steroids? Or just
No,
steroids in general?
that's a whole other...
They tested just for diuretics that year. And
Yeah,
that was the year
diuretics,
that,
again, is basically trying to deter you from using something that, yes, it might give you an edge, but
Right.
also might
that was
not.
the year when Kevin Levrone failed the test, and then Sean Ray put him on blast, right? And then they took away his first place. It was at the Arnold, I think, right? Something like that. Or the
Yeah, I
Olympia,
know.
Or the second place.
Yup.
There was a
I know.
controversy about that.
Controversy, and I was caught up in one myself. I failed the test.
They took it away from you, the placing?
I didn't win, so it didn't matter for me.
No, but what about placing?
Wasn't even
What about
close.
placing you
I
got?
cannot imagine winning a show and then failing the test, where
Man.
you should kind of know if they are going to test that they took somebody's advice. They gave me the diuretic. I took it. Did it help me? Not at all.
I remember that story.
Actually looked worse, So
Looked worse. Wow.
Yeah, I looked worse, and it
That's
was a learning
crazy.
lesson to pretty much trust yourself, trust your diet, trust your process. And if you're not doing your cardio, missing cardio, and you're cheating on your diet, don't fool yourself. You're
So
not
to
going
answer
to be
this
in shape.
question, IFBB can only intervene by testing. That's the only way they can intervene.
That's
right?
one way they can, but it's too much. It's too much because as individuals, they're still going to find a way to kind of, set themselves up to use a product, and it might not work. It's just a high risk. It's a high risk. It's happened in every sport, more so in bodybuilding, and it's just the wrong way to go about it.
So it's best for the athletes themselves not to actually use
Athletes and coaches. If anything,
and
athletes and coaches, and they should just kind of, be all ears when you're speaking to them. You should be honest, saying what you're going to use. So hopefully they'll sway you from not using any of that stuff.
All right. The second question of the day comes from Let's Get It 6297, and it's a short question, short and sweet. It says, "Does Vic still put on the Legends show?"
Oh, man, come on. July 19th this year. It's going to be the 10th anniversary. It's going to be on, man. I expect Generation I to sponsor it. No, you guys always do. But it's going to be great. I took it out of the Bronx. Why? Because I was getting no love in the Bronx.
What do you mean no loving? Really?
Yeah, I was getting no love in the Bronx. The Bronx is just odd. That's why it's the last borough to really move up.
man. People are going to be mad at you now.
BX is a
Yeah, I
great
don't
place.
speak to the Bronx. They all agree with me. The Bronx is the last of the Mohegans when it comes to the 5 boroughs of Manhattan. I
So
know
we
you
take them to
guys.
Queens?
Listen, Queens has always been, Queens has always been good. I mean, you got some great neighborhoods in Queens. Brooklyn. Look at Brooklyn. Doesn't even look like Brooklyn anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Staten Island. I know people deny that as one of
That's
the
not
5
a borough.
boroughs.
That's not a borough.
I know. Most people
That's
will say
New Jersey,
that.
bro.
But Staten Island, as bad as it is, all the, cops, firefighters, and everybody living there in the dumping ground, which I think they took out, is actually not bad. It's changing. But the Bronx, man, it's just, if you're going to do anything in the Bronx, just do the Bronx Zoo. Because Yankee Stadium, actually, I take that back. Yankee Stadium. But
So where are you hosting it this year?
yeah, I hosted a show there kind of because I won my first show in the Bronx, but the love was lacking, the support was lacking, and what better place than to bring it to Manhattan? That's where Steve used to have all his shows, not in the same location, but in Manhattan, and it's just gonna be an entirely different vibe. It's
That's
gonna
exciting.
There's so little shows in Manhattan these days. That's a good.
There's actually
that's a
no shows in
There's
Manhattan.
no shows in Manhattan.
Yeah, there's no
There's no show
shows.
because it's
so-
very expensive here.
Very expensive, but I'm going to make it, where everybody's going to have a good experience. And again, working with a lot of the trainers in the, basically I'm going to make it a trainer show. So
Got it.
for any trainers that bring me 4 athletes, you guys are going to be full on VIP.
Perfect. So, guys, please submit your questions in the comments below. Sponsored by Transparent Labs, and hopefully Victor will answer some of them, right?
Yup.
You need to take your muscles to the max! Whoa there, Turbo. Do you even know what's in that stuff? Oh, yeah.
See, most protein powders are filled with artificial sweeteners, food dyes, and filler.
Really?
I wouldn't put that stuff in my body.
Neither would I. Transparent Labs is made with just a handful of all-natural ingredients without any of the weird stuff. Transparent Labs. Protein without the weird stuff.
We got a lot to get through today. Very interesting developments. Derek Lunsford just won the Arnold Classic.
Yep.
Surprise, shocked the world, I would say, right?
Yes.
And now he's doing the Pittsburgh Pro in May.
I know.
Very
Three big
interesting
shows.
developments.
3 big shows back to back. Well, at least 3 months apart each.
Right.
But
So what do you think about this move?
I think, you know what? He's writing it. Can he do it? He's definitely going to give Nick a run for it, but Nick is coming in fresh. You know,
Nick Walker's looking to kind of redeem
Nick
himself.
Walker
Right.
is looking good. He's looking big. So, and he's coming in fresh, which is going to give him a slight upper hand. But Derek is Mr. Olympia and Arnold Classic champion, where Nick is Arnold Classic champ as well.
I mean, it's a very
It's gonna be a
strange
face-off.
It's very interesting. I wouldn't say strange, but it's interesting year. You have Mr.
Yes.
Olympias and, Arnold Classic winners competing at essentially, regional shows, right? Regional,
Remember, not just the
shows.
regional shows. This is Pittsburgh. This is home base for the IFBB, MPC.
Right.
And they made a nice purse for that win. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
They're
I
stepping
mean,
it up a notch this year.
It's
Yeah.
definitely the HQ for the IFBB and MPC, and obviously
They are
that's a big
showing the
impact
money.
for sure.
They're showing the money.
And that's great. I mean, that's great for the sport, right? You want more
Yes.
athletes making more money. So
Vic, speaking
great.
so many times, you said it before, it's not good.
well, it's
Right?
kind of it's hard. It's hard, but again,
We
some
tear your body
people.
apart.
Yes, I mean, I haven't seen anybody do it better than Dexter when it comes to peaking
Peaking
each
a lot.
time. I mean, to this day, I don't think I've seen any other bodybuilder that's done it. I mean, as far as many shows, probably Darren Charles, but as
Back
far
in the
as
day
reaching
when,
the peak,
when Ronnie Coleman used to compete, they did shows after show after show. Remember that?
yeah,
In
they
the
were like a
90s.
week apart though.
Like
They
a week.
were-
Okay, so it's not.
Yeah, a week apart. They weren't,
Yeah.
months and months and
But a
then
lot,
coming
though.
off and rebounding,
Right,
coming
right,
off. So that's different. That gives you a little, shorter span from show to show.
Right.
You can kind of hold it, drink the water, cut the water, but
Right.
you don't have to go, off the cardio, then back on, and the weekend of being off, and then the rebound week, which is the whole tug of war of staying in shape.
So what if the show happens and Nick Walker comes in and beats Derek Lunsford? Now
It's gonna be a great show.
it's going to be a great show, but now Derek Lunsford just redeemed himself in a sense, right? He lost the Olympia,
Yes.
he comes back strong, wins the Arnold, and now gets defeated by Nick Walker. It's going to be an interesting turn of events.
Yeah, it would be.
You know what would be the most interesting? Sansom decides to do it.
and
Even
redeem
more
himself.
interesting.
That would be-
That
that
would
would
be
be
great
crazy.
because now you're watching
Yeah.
guys really going at it on that stage. And again, without discounting any of the other guys that are competing, but these are the top dogs. These guys won, the biggest shows already in the business. And I think it's going to be lit over at Pittsburgh. And I want to try and make it because this is something I want to witness in person, not online. It's a way different experience. And guys, buy your tickets now. It's going to sell out. I'm telling you, a month out
No,
or sooner.
Nick Walker obviously hasn't competed in a while, so people are like ecstatic to see him compete. Last show he did was Pro last year,
Yes,
which he
yes.
won. Then he didn't do it at Olympia. Now he's making a comeback. Now he has this back and forth with Bob Cicherillo happening.
I know.
Some dissing back and forth, right? Very entertaining, of course. But do you think Bob has the power to somehow influence what's going to happen at that show? So
He shouldn't.
Nick doesn't win. No, of course he shouldn't. But he's
Yeah,
in
he
the street side.
shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't be that way.
Of
I
course
know
it shouldn't
Bob.
be.
I know Bob so long. I know they had their own, kind of going at each other online over the "Who's Bob" comment from Nick. But then
It's
again,
funny.
Bob started first saying he's going to announce, that he's,
Eighth place.
eighth place, and as the MC, you should kind of always play Switzerland when you're up there because now it almost feels like the athlete that's competing almost feels like any comment that Bob is, he's been in the industry for so long, he's been part of the FBB for so long. If he doesn't ask for a certain favor, which again, I know him well enough. I don't think he'll go that route, but it can actually make an athlete uneasy.
Sure. Have you ever done a back and forth with somebody like an industry?
Have
or
I mean,
an industry insider like a Bob, you know?
No, it's only been a fourth. There's never been a back. It's like,
I know you had beef with Flex Wheeler, Sean Ray.
yeah, and again, that was just the
magazine
fourth.
jabs. Yeah.
That was a fourth. And again, I was seeing they call my bluff. They didn't. And at the end of the day, Flex Wheeler would have gone, the extra mile to defend himself. I would have, and it would have been even more interesting bodybuilding, because what goes on, guys competing all oiled up and tanned up on stage. After that, nothing really goes on. So when you get a few spats going at each other, I had my reasons to go at Flex, and he played it right, bro. He played it right, because at the end of the day, we just here in the same boat, man. At the end of the day, nobody's gonna win. But we always have something that you don't like about someone else. And when somebody decides to shoot and,
Right.
You want to go at it, a lot of these bodybuilders will not stand down, and I wasn't one of those. He wasn't. So at the end of the day, we made up. It lasted like one time. It really.
In order to beat Derek Lunsford, what do you think Nick Walker needs to bring to the stage in Pittsburgh? What do you think is needed? The size?
He's got to have that size and just not try to go into condition where he just gets too stringy. Remember, Nick Walker's strongest point, arms, back, and legs. He can't focus too much on the conditioning where he loses the size on his legs. It's going to be, highlighted by Derek, because Derek's strongest point is
Right.
arms, back, and legs.
Right.
So
And
any of these
conditioning is very
guys
on point.
try to over-condition and lose that volume,
Size, right.
it's going to, be very, very noticeable to the point of losing. So they both have a battle to stay focused on. And
If Nick Walker loses to Derek in that one, he has to go to New York Pro.
if Nick loses to
Derek
Derek,
Lunsford. He has to qualify for
it's-
Olympia. He needs to go to the New York Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be disappointing for him, but will he give up? I don't think so, because again, he's going to be fresh. This is his first show of the year. New York Pro is only going to be like a week or two later.
2 weeks apart. Actually, maybe a week.
Yeah, so either way, he's going to win either one show or both shows. But Nick is here to win it, and we'll be seeing him at the Olympia this
You
year.
think it's going to be Derek Lunsford?
No, he's either going to win one show or both shows.
Gotcha.
As far as Derek again, the fuel is just re-added to his fire winning this Arnold. I mean, this is something that he really needed, coming off that, losing the Olympia to Samson. Samson is just kind of, just recovering from all the other shows. He did a lot of shows. So to come on to the Arnold, he really didn't lose by much.
Right.
So I think the Pittsburgh is the show to watch, followed by New York Pro.
You guys want to talk about Andrew Tate lifting 315
Oh,
pounds?
man.
Press. Come on. 2. Come on. Hit it. Push. 3. Yeah. One more. Press. 4. Yeah,
Oh man,
I know you're not a fan
that
of
got
it.
a lot of controversy on Generation Iron. When people saw that, of course, people were like, "Why are you posting this clown or whatever?"
Yeah,
Why
it's
are
just
you
too many
woman
things
beater?
going on the whole ethics thing. That's the only thing.
Are you impressed with his strength? That's what I'm going to ask.
Oh, nah, you seen skinnier, younger guys do more.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, look, at the end of the day, it is an impressive lift considering his frame. I
Like 4
thought.
times,
People will make fun of it, but it was a pretty. I think it was at Zoo Culture that he did that as well.
With Bradley Martyn.
Yeah. So Bradley Martyn hosted him. He did the bench presses there.
He's holding on to my seat here.
He's not a fan. Victor, you're not a fan of
It's
his
not
work.
about being a fan. It's just, again, when you bring somebody's name up and they're caught up in, certain scandals that involve women and young people. And again, not to bring that up, but that's kind of like where I'm like having a little tug of war, that I can't just act like nothing is wrong. You know, I mean, I got in
Allegations.
trouble. I got in trouble for myself being in my own trouble, not even involving other people, and I got bombasted by everybody just because I'm getting my own self in trouble. I didn't involve other characters, and imagine him and all that. Again, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not, but I can't really, have a comment on any of it.
How about this new guy? We just discovered him actually this week. Gentile, biggest natty 18-year-old. Gentile Lifts is a tag if you guys want to check him out on Instagram.
Did some dumbbell press. I made my way to Iraq, straight to the 110s. I was starving. They flew like a fucking airplane. 130s were being a good boy, so I took them for a walk in the park.
This guy's a character.
He is a character.
We're looking at this video.
He is, and I think he should start, approaching the WWE because he's not for the stage, but he is for the whole bodybuilding entertainment.
Those lifts he
does? He is strong, man. He's a character, man, and it's fun. He's young and
he reminds me
crazy.
Yeah, he reminds me of Craig Goliath, obviously.
Yes, he looks like I think he looks like Craig Goliath's child.
Yeah.
He impregnated somebody, and I think he needs to do a DNA test because that could be your son.
That's so funny, man.
It could be.
But
he had a son with a midget. I don't know.
And he's a natty.
These days, you kind of have to be a character.
Natty-ish.
He calls himself a natty. He's lifting like 200-pound dumbbells.
I mean, again, he's running on young. And I just hope somebody can guide him as to when to do these certain things where he can avoid injury because at the end of the day, he's still young. I know he's posting, he's doing great on social media, and it's great. I know he's going to start trolling a lot of the younger guys, and again, he's making it interesting,
You have to be a character these days, no? To succeed
and again, social media interesting. But will we see him ever compete? That I could put my money on, not anytime soon. Because
you said the same thing about Sam Sulek, though.
No. Sam Sulek, I said, what he's posting is good. I would like to see him compete.
Oh, that's what
I never said... Don't twist the word. I know exactly what I say. I might be baked sometimes, but I still remember my archive of opinions.
You did. You challenged him to compete. You're right.
Yeah. So I would like to see him put that work on competing, and he did. And look at him now. He's a freaking pro.
Do you want to see the Gentile 18-year-old compete?
I mean, he's just big right now. He's big. He looks like one of these freaking Vikings coming off the boat with axe and freaking sword about to conquer your hood, But again, entertaining, young, strong, use it for something. And he's good to watch, man. I can't say, nothing bad about him. I just hope he keeps it, focused and clean and a good example for the younger kids at his age, and doesn't start posting,
steroids.
The love for steroids or trying or any of that. That's the only thing I wish he doesn't do or doesn't steer that way.
Hopefully he stays with Natty Products, Transparent Labs.
Yeah.
And
Natty
clean
Transparent
products.
will do him good, man. I don't know. Maybe you guys will have him here one day.
Yeah, we'll have him here. Call him mini mass monster.
Yeah. Goliath, get that DNA test. All right, guys. Thank you for all the new followers, the loyal ones, and for following us, liking us, commenting, and don't forget, if you want to see any of our prior episodes, tune into iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you stream. Appreciate you. Until next time.